Hey, what's going on, friends? My podcast every day is broken up into two parts on the free platform. The first part, Act 1, is right now. When it's all done, go right on over to Act 2 to get the second half of the podcast. Thank you so much for checking out my show. Welcome to each and every one of you. The Eric Zane Show podcast has begun. Oh, my gosh, we do this again. From right here in the Impact Power Sports studio, Impact Power Sports, online at impactpowersportsmi.com. Fantastic place to shop for affordable family fun. If you want to ride around and rip up trails, you know, maybe like in a side-by-side. Those things look awesome. My God, am I tempted. Absolutely fantastic. Motorcycle, e-bike, perhaps a scooter, perhaps a Yamaha golf cart. The best in the business there, Michigan's newest Yamaha golf cart dealer. Impact Power Sports, online at impactpowersportsmi.com. They are awesome. They are on 14 Mile Road in Rockford, Michigan. Okay. Here we are the day after Christmas, and it's just, this has never happened before, where in this household, where we didn't celebrate Christmas on Christmas. You remember the story I told you about how we were all set to do it Christmas Eve? Pooh Bear wanted to beat my ass because I had taken hours from Q100 to do the morning show. And she was like, what are you doing? And then the time came for, us to have the rubber meet the road. And then Madison says, well, I can't do Christmas Eve because I have to work. And there was all sorts of drama. Well, there wasn't really. It wasn't that bad at all. But that was it. So Jackie is off she's north of the hard living line in West Branch with Justin's family. So then the idea was floated. Now, I didn't say anything. I don't have anything to do with this process. I dare not. All right. I'm number 2, and it's a long distance between number 1 and number 2. And depending on the day, I might be 3, 4, 5. I am the king of pick my battles, and I haven't had a battle worth fighting about in forever. That is the key to survival in a marriage. Battle picking. Now, some battles are unavoidable. But it's been smooth sailing around here since the last time I stepped in it. And I aim to keep it that way. So, the idea of Saturday at this house is when it's all going down. Hey, that sounds great. Now, if they had said July, I would have said, yeah, of course. Bob is here. He listened to my Christmas Eve show on Q100. He requested some song by a band called Sabaton, and the song was called Christmas Truce. And I listened to it, and from what I could glean, it had to do with like some type of battle. I mean, truce is one of the names, one of the words in the title. So obviously there's some, and I'm like, what is going on here? And it seemed like, I don't know, like the band Sabaton reminded me of the actors in the series Game of Thrones who played the Wildings. If those of you who are aware of that, if not, that joke's not going to land. But anyway, so I played this song. At first, I thought it was going to be a big pile of shit, but it wasn't. It was a good song. It was a little weird. One of those deals. Bob said it's about the World War I Christmas truce. For those of you that don't know, I think it was the Germans and the Brits in World War I You got that trench warfare going. And then the area between the two trenches is no man's land. They decided to not fight on Christmas and to play soccer. Not kidding. You can look that up. Chris says, you did essentially call it a piece of shit on the air first. Well, yeah, of course I did. That's par for the course. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. And I like the idea of that. That's just crazy to me that during that period of time, 100 years ago, World War I, that they even did that. First of all, if I'm the general from one of those sides, the second the other guys come out with the soccer ball, ready to play the game, I'm machine gunning every one of those bastards down. I'm not going to honor that truce. Are you kidding me? It's warfare. No. I would mow them down as soon as they said, all right, hey, where's your 11? Let's go. Let's go. Let's play soccer. Ah! That's what I would have done. But they didn't. They actually played soccer. There's Rick brought this up to me from TC Paintball, and I looked it up, and I did a deep dive on it on this show. I don't think it was on this show. I think it was on the Patreon. This is years ago. So that's what that song by that band Sabaton is all about. What a name for a band, Sabaton. Is that a made-up word? Well, anyway. Yeah, that was part of the Christmas show on Q100. So that happens. Yesterday, Christmas Day. By the way, Christmas Eve, after the radio show, it was Pooh Bear wanted to go out for sushi. I'm always up for sushi. Are you kidding me? And we brought Madison with us. So we headed over to the place, and it was packed. Everybody. This is the type of restaurant where you all sit in a square, and then the guy shows up, the chef. He's got that cart with all his shit on it, and then you've put in your order, and then he goes, a chicken, and you want a steak, and you want he goes to the whole table, and then he makes it all in front of you, and he does the tricks. He does spin the egg on the spatula, and it lands in the hat. And then he does cut the onion and make volcano or choo-choo train. Then he squirts the rice wine, sake, into your mouth from far away. And he does big flame, and everybody freaks out. We did not sit there. We go to the bar. And a Chinese guy named, this is crazy, this restaurant. A Chinese guy named Ivan owns the joint, and it is all Mexican sushi chefs. Another job that piece of shit Americans can't do. The best sushi chefs in the world are Mexicans. So we got this down to an art form. We sit there. We know all three of the guys. They don't speak any English, but they do speak money. So you take a $10 bill before you order, and you put it in the tip jar, and you go, what's up, fellas? How's it going? You drop that in there, and then you are going to get the best treatment. They make us free hors d'oeuvres. Well, we pay for them because I give them the tip. I think they do that for everybody there, though. The place is called Sakura. I think that's a chain, but anyway, it's awesome. It's the shit. It's the best sushi bar in all of West Michigan. It's priced the same as all the other ones, but it's just better. It's just better. And no waiting. Everybody wants to go sit at the table with the guy doing choo-choo onion, choo-choo train volcano onion, and we don't want anything to do with that. I want to sit at the sushi bar and talk to these beautiful Mexicans. Kenny says people don't care who the chefs are as long as they're not white people. Chinese, Latino, doesn't matter. Just don't be trash people and make yummy food, without a doubt. Without a doubt. But I'm very suspect if I've got a honky there making my sushi. Because white guys suck when it comes to this shit. Okay? All right. So we did that. Pigged out. Had a good time. If you ever see me do what I just did right now, that is stop my sentence and then pick up this pen and then write something down. It's because I just remembered something that I have to talk about for later. Chris says white guys can only man the fryer. This is true. Nick is here. He says, I miss the, do I say Ichiban or Ichiban? Ichiban? That yellow shit they put on their shrimp was the best. I never went. Happy. I hope it was great for all of you. I hope there was no incidents. Everybody stayed out of the hospital for Christmas. It's really weird for me to kind of like focus on Christmas that was when it's still in the future for me, you know? Seabear says, long time no talk. Welcome back. Question, are you left-handed by chance? Well, that's weird. I throw left-handed, but I write right-handed. I bat right-handed, throw left-handed. I think technically I was supposed to be a lefty with everything. But I don't. I write with my right hand. I think I had one of those scenarios where the teacher's like, no, you're doing it wrong. Don't write with your left hand. So I write with my right. Chris says, what day did you guys end up picking that worked for everyone for Christmas? February 12th? Yeah, really. July 5th. No, we're opening the gifts on Saturday and having everybody over, and then having the food. Nick says, beat off hand determines the answer. Interesting. Did not know that. Okay. I'm just going over some of the comments. Things I've talked about. Okay, good. Morning from Holland Hospital. Borculo Josh says, think I get to go home today. Thinking about you, buddy. I was communicating with Josh via email. He's had some medical setbacks that are messing him up. And his mind's kind of going in 5 directions right now. It's conversations like that, Josh, that, the fact that you're laid up in the hospital for the holiday, I'm like, God, I'm so with you. I'm thinking about you. Several moments during this past couple of days, I've thought about you. People take stuff for granted. And your health is the number one thing that we take for granted. And then whenever something flares up, it's like, oh, my God, the world stops. So holy hell, please, I just hope you get through this, heal up, and then we'll worry about the rest later, because I know you're worried about a series of other things that are happening with your life. But let's just get healthy, and we'll deal with the rest later. Seabear has a great question. Eric Zane live in chat. Do the Lions win out and win back-to-back divisions this year? No, they don't. It's been such a tight division with outstanding performances by the Vikings and the Packers, but the Vikings so close to the Lions. the Lions are going to lose out. They're going to lose in San Francisco Monday, and everybody hates on me when I say these things, but I'm doing this logically. I thought they were going to lose to the Bears. They did not. They performed well, and it made me happy. And everybody's telling me that if I say the Lions are going to lose, I cannot be a Lion fan. And that is such a pile of shit. I will be as happy as all of you if the next America's team wins this weekend. I am saying nothing bad about the Lions. Nothing. I have only said that the injuries have caught up to them, and that is going to cause them to be exposed. They have grocery baggers on defense, so that is unfortunate. The only reason why they beat the Bears is because their offense is so damn great. Chris says, fuck that. I say that about the Bills weekly. We will be exposed. All right, maybe. Maybe this is also my way of hoping for the best, but expecting the worst. Ben Glaze is here. He says if they win against the 49ers and the Vikings beat the Packers, then it comes down to the Vikings game for the number 1 seed. What a storyline. Exactly right. Nick says, prediction, Dan Campbell blows the Super Bowl with some stupid play like an onside kick with 12 minutes left. I was talking with Nick about that, who is an Eagles fan, and he said that there's more conservative play calling when an 8-year-old is playing Madden football than when Dan Campbell is calling plays for the Lions. I was also talking with another pal of mine, Sean Wright, from the Grand Rapids Griffins. And he said everybody loves Campbell and all these wild riverboat gambling plays that he makes, that he calls, and he's successful at. She goes, you watch. He goes, you watch. They're going to lose something huge because of his play calling. Now, I don't know about that, and I certainly hope not. I certainly hope not. Seabear says, we didn't get here by being the same old Lions. We got here by being aggressive. You're goddamn right. And you got audience members like Nick who think that the Lions have no shot because of aggressive play calling. I don't give a shit at this point. If the Lions fuck it up, with something like that, oh well. That just shows me they tried. But it's not going to matter because they're losing at San Francisco, and then they're losing at home to the Vikes, and then one and done in the playoffs. Mark it down. It's happening. Linda says, here's the door for anyone who doesn't believe. Can you imagine if I had Dan Campbell? If I said that in front of him, he'd kill me. Kenny's furious because he's become a Lion fan. I love that. He says, stop. For fuck's sake, man. Depressing. Dude, tell me about it. Chris says they shouldn't rest them if they get the 1 seed because that'll be 3 weeks off, LOL. I'm sure if it gets to that point, they'll pull players and rest some, but you can't go 3 weeks off, in my opinion. Whatever. We don't know anything. We have no idea what the hell we're talking about. Chris makes a great point. In that one game where the Lions went for it on 4th down, I forget who they were playing now. When Goff fell down on his face when he was handing the ball off to Gibbs or whatever, or Montgomery. I think he handed it off to Montgomery. Seabear is right. Campbell wanted to kick that field goal. But Goff went up and said, fuck you, we're going for it. It was the Packers. Again, brain like a goldfish. That's what I have. I don't remember anything. Chris says it's fun to act like we do, LOL. No, without a doubt, man. It has been absolutely magical. Okay? I'm here for it. If they win against San Francisco, I want you to know that there isn't anything you can say. You can't say anything negative about me in the fact that I did not think that they were going to win. There are Lions fans who think that they're not going to win every game. That happens. Now, listen, you got to pay attention to this. If a miracle happens and they beat San Francisco, and then another miracle happens and they win the Vikes, or they beat the Vikes, or if by chance the Pack beats the Vikes, and the Lions win the division and win the NFC conference, you got another week of recovery. So I think that there's potential that we could get a guy like maybe even Alex Anzalone back, the guy who's got the Chris D hair. Kenny says, you are in the same group as Joe Martinez to me right now, Easy. Well, that's just silly. Come on now. He's like a hater. I love the Lions. You cannot say that. And Linda, same thing as you. You're both stupid. Bunch of morons you are. My God. All right. Enough of that nonsense. Bob's is also mentioning that Aiden Hutchinson could be back. I sure hope not. I don't want him to get hurt again. I think that the only thing he could possibly come back to play for would be the Super Bowl. Aram says, anybody know us easy stop wearing Lions gear? That is not true. Last week I wore a Lions hoodie and somebody made a comment. And I remember that because somebody said, here you are, you're wearing a Lions hoodie in front of a couch with a Lions throw over it. And you're saying the Lions are going to lose. So that's not true at all. I never, ever, when I grab hoodies, care what they say on them. I don't avoid hoodies because of certain things. I just wear them because they're warm. Chris said, is it true you cannot say Super Bowl on radio? I remember you guys avoiding it on WBBL. No, I think you can say, yeah, the Lions are in the Super Bowl, but you can't go like, hey, we're having a Super Bowl watch party at Johnny's fucking pub or something like that. It's the Johnny's Pub Super Bowl watch party. I think that that's frowned upon. But even that, I don't even see like that being a problem. Who's going to fucking sue you? All right. So yesterday, what did I do? You all were enjoying so much fun with your families, except for Josh, who is laid up in a hospital. Pooh Bear, I said to her, I go, all right, it's Christmas, and I'm here. What chores am I doing? She said, wrap presents. And I go, I'm all over it. So I got to it. Now, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but I am a particularly fantastic present wrapper. If you were to see how some of my presents look when they're wrapped, you would have thought that they were wrapped by like a professional. Well, they were me. First of all, my family says to me, how in the world do you wrap these so expertly? And it's very simple. On the back of the wrapping paper, it's really easy. Those squares are 1 inch. It's simple. It's just math. Same amount of squares, every direction. Fold it up to make sure you've got the coverage. You do the little, on the ends, a little fold in to make the triangle. It comes down, tapey, boom. And I'm fast as shit. So she's up in her wrapping room, and I'm in the kitchen. She's bringing down stacks of presents to wrap. All right, these are all of Grayson's, my grandsons. Wrap these in this color. All right. I'm wrapping. And the next thing I know, I've gone through 3 whole rolls of Scotch tape. And on the kitchen table where I'm placing these, because I cannot put them under the tree because Darla will chew on them because she's a cock, I've got this stack of presents. And so I go walking up into her present wrapping room after about, I'm not kidding you, 4 hours of wrapping presents. Now, it's probably not that much. It was on and off during the day. And I go up there, and she's got this little pile of like 8 presents. At this point, when I was done for the day, when I was actually like, all right, I'm wrapping it up, I had wrapped 42 presents. And, a lot of that is 2 grandsons, all the kids, and for Pooh Bear. I wrapped all of Pooh Bear's presents. And so they're all piled up on that table. I feel really good about that. She had to go to the store today to get more Scotch tape. And I will finish my chore of wrapping. Kenny says, purple Scotch gift tape. Don't know what that is. I have never heard of such a thing. He says you absolutely have to have the purple gift tape. I don't know. I do excellent with the Scotch. Nick says all my presents are wrapped with an Amazon box. Yes. Now, Kenny says it is a Scotch brand, but the label is purple. Yeah, I don't know. I just if it's sticky and clear, I use it. That's it. I don't really. I'm not. Perhaps you might be more professional than I am. But, yeah, I'm a little. I'm confused. Perhaps you need to show me the way. Now, I will say that when I have the tape. There's like, if it's a fresh roll, there's like a tab so that you don't have to like pick the beginning. You can just grab it and set it right on the little spiny part where you tear it. And that little tab is purple. Is that what you're talking about? I don't know if on the outside of it's purple. So I think we might be using the same thing, but I just didn't realize that it's so ultra specific. I think only someone who's kind of a fuckface like you would actually go, oh, wow, this is something I really have to pay attention to. I don't really think anyone on the planet gives a fuck what type of tape they're using, just as long as it's sticky on one side. So I don't really, it just seems to me like that is something that you would actually get bogged down with that detail because you're kind of an imbecile to begin with. So there's that. Anyway, I have been trolling throughout most of the day. Some of you may have noticed what I've been up to. But on the day after Christmas, I was sitting here doing Q100, that show, of course, that I do morning radio on this radio station here, Q100. And I had been meaning to do this for quite some time. But I love doing whatever I can to needle and annoy my pals, Free Beer and Hot Wings. So this was the latest. Go ahead and make a post that says, whether you love or hate Free Beer and Hot Wings, you'll want to hear the review show, Who Are These Free Beers? Hear a free clip here. And then there's a tiny URL of the latest free clip of Who Are These Free Beers. And so then I would go to their list of stations, and then I would click on each station their Facebook page. And whatever posts they have up, whatever radio station in whatever state, hit the comment, paste what I just told you with a picture of Greg looking like a twat or the logo for Who Are These Free Beers, and then enter it in. So I did that. And then, they got like 50 fucking stations, those cocksuckers. So I go, I got 50 stations to do this to. So I got to about 30. It took about an hour. Some of you even saw, I don't know how you can see when I post on these weirdo stations. I guess it just shows up as something that I've posted. And you all, I know that runner girl Amy saw it. And I forget who, I think Ben Glaze saw it too and liked it. I went to like 30 different radio stations and spammed them. And then I went to like 31 and did it again. And then I hit enter, and then this red fucking border around my post says, you are no longer allowed to post you've been banned from posting because you violated our spam policy. So Facebook figured out that I was spamming these cocksuckers, and they gave me a ticket. So now I can't do it. But I think over time, I'll be able to do it again. I just can't, once that expires, that little probation I'm on, I'll get back to doing it. But I'm sure I'll be banned by a lot of these stations. They'll block me. But it was great fun. And nothing comes of it because who the fuck even pays attention to something like that? The point of doing that is simply to be annoying. I am getting an early start on 2025. I want to be as annoying as possible all year long. That is my New Year's resolution, to be ultra annoying. I love that. Tophus says, so we should all help you. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Kenny says, and you wonder why I like annoying you sometimes. No, I do not wonder that. I have never once wondered why you like annoying me. I think you like annoying me because you're a cock. That's why you like annoying me. Tophus says I'd be down for trolling these affiliate stations. Right on. Cole says, saying fuckface. That's how Zane says Merry Christmas. That's true. No, if every one of you trolled Free Beer and Hot Wings show network stations, Facebook pages, that's fun. Or even their own. They're going to block you. It's no big deal. My girlfriend, Kelly Cheese, she runs it. I got to thinking about this. I know that Kelly is attracted to both sexes, as is my daughter, who is madly in love with her boyfriend, Ash. You're like, wait a minute, what's going on? Yeah, as you know, Ash is transgender. Born a girl, now a boy. And they're getting married in June. Now, I don't ever want this to happen because I love Ash with every bit of my soul, and I'm so happy for them. But if Ash were to go skydiving and Ash's suit were to not open, and then Madison was like, oh my God, so sad, I got to find a new lover, and then fell in love with Kelly Cheese, can you imagine if they got married and I was Kelly Cheese's father-in-law? Holy shit. If that happens, I am establishing a new business and taking my life live in real time. I would call it my daughter-in-law, Kelly Cheese. I would put everything live. Everything. Everything would go live. That would be so fun. And she would come into the house thinking she's all hot shit. Like I would be blown away by that. And I'd be like, jackpot! That would be something. My daughter just loves everybody, by the way. All right. I do need to get a hold of Kyle over at a company that used to market themselves on this show. I'll get to that. Chris's wife, our very own Chris in Buffalo, his lovely better half, he and his lovely better half, speaking of Kelly Cheese, sent me a Christmas message. I'm going to play you the Christmas message on Patreon. It's not that big of a deal, but it is something that I'm saving for Patreon. Jeremy says, I bet that Kelly would have no issues calling you dad or daddy, unlike some in-laws. I don't know what you mean. Is that a joke referencing my son-in-law who does not refer to me as dad, Eric, Mr. Z, or anything? Because that's true. In case you don't know, Chris's significant other, Kristen. Chris and Kristen. Kristen speaks with crispy R's. If she wants a cracker, a graham cracker, it's going to sound as graham cracker because she has crispy R's. And as disgusted as I am when Kelly does it, for some reason, when Kristen does it, it's awesome. It might be because she might be the biggest sweetie pie that's ever sweetie pied. We're talking about a laughy, happy lady. She's just a chuckle bug. Her and Chris might be the most fun power couple that's ever existed. I love them so much. Chris D says, how about cranberry graham cracker? You see, I have the crispy R impersonation down. Crispy, crunchity graham cracker. People with crispy R's do that. Whereas a normal person would say crispy, crunchy graham cracker. They'll say crispy, crunchy graham cracker. Care Bear, Sea Bear 495 says, do it in Amanda voice. Hey, crispy, crunchy graham cracker. Crispy, graham cracker. Hey. Ben and I have been paying very close attention about the intelligence of Kelly and now Maitland. And Maitland, Ben is right. Maitland is definitely dumber than Kelly. I'm going to go back into the archive of my favorite radio show and get the moment when she actually said, seriously, if it's a cloudy day and then night falls, do clouds still exist? She also seriously asked about whether or not pool water is flammable because of chemicals in it. Not to mention some of the things that I've been pulling on my own. I am establishing a long supercut of moments that Maitland's lack of intelligence is on full display. The time that Greg was talking about some wacko who was selling arms to overseas countries on the black market, she thought that the guy was actually selling limbs. And for everybody who hears me talking about this and says, you're being mean, I'm not. She's dumb. There's no other way to say it. Just like I pissed some of you off when I suggested the Lions going to lose the next two. Yeah, it might piss you off, but I'm just telling you a fact. Thank you, Ben, for reminding us about how stupid she is. Very nice. Very nice. I mean, not everybody is perfect, okay? You might have someone who's really gross looking with a horrible personality, but is funny and smart. Kelly's a perfect example of that. Gross, horrible human, funny, smart, and perfect for the radio. Maitland, sweet, as pretty as a picture, dumb as fuck. Me, I mean, honestly, everybody has ups and downs, high points, low points, pluses and minuses. Rebecca says, why is Kelly a horrible human? I don't know. That's a mystery. Actually, I have no idea. Like for me, example, I'm perfect in everything. Handsome, articulate, wise. Not everybody can be as perfect as me. Jeremy says she once bragged about dosing people with weed at her Thanksgiving party without telling them. There you go. That's horrible. Chris says one of our single audience members should try to match up with one of them on the dating apps and get them on a Zoom with friends. Wow. Tophus says that's illegal too. Kelly sucks. Fuck her. Now, I didn't hear that when it happened, but are you telling me she described on the radio that she put cannabis products into food and didn't tell anybody? That's not real, right? My God. I'll have to ask Ross about that, who is Kelly's ex-husband, who I talk to all the time. I need to wish him a Merry Christmas, by the way. Hey, Siri. Text Ross Plant. What the fuck? Hey, Siri. Text Ross.
What do you want to say?
Merry Christmas to you and yours.
Okay, sending.
Okay. Josh says it was not done on purpose. It was accidentally done, and it was before Ross. How do you accidentally give people drugs? Good God. Jeremy says that's not the way she originally told it. She walked it back later. Oh, well, then perhaps it was told it that way. People started attacking her and then changed the story. That's a dirty delete is what that is. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. I am still in the process of collecting my free beer sniffs from the world famous holiday break-in. Side note worth mentioning, the fact checking on the holiday break-in. Poor Kelly. You know how the way we would do it back then is you would get a story and then you would change 95% of the details. It could be a lady who's down on her luck, who lives alone. But what you're going to hear on the radio is a father with 4 kids, and they all have cancer. So they changed the details, okay, of the story so to protect the, make sure that the anonymity is protected on the person. So what you're hearing on the radio is not quite at all what's actually happening. And I get that. I always understood it. I was never really behind the holiday break-ins, even talking about it on the air in the first place. To me, it just, if you were to ever go back and listen to any of those shows, I was kind of quiet. It always just felt weird. And I sure as fuck didn't like Greg responding to these fairy tale stories with this fake sniffle thing. Thus, we put in the over-under on how many fake Greg sniffles he will have for the holiday fake-in. I still have plenty to listen to. It's tough for me to do it when I'm at home because Pooh Bear does not allow me to listen to that show in her presence. I have to do it while I'm driving around. But I still have maybe 90 minutes of show left to listen to. And everyone who guessed on the over-under is under. I am at 41 sniffles right now. Because Greg, and I've seen this happen, will put his nose up to the mic or the phone and do a hard sniff, but his eyes are dry. I don't know how the fuck he does it. I don't know why he does it. He's the only one that does it. No one else does it. No one else is crying. My God. So when we reconvene for Who Are These Free Beers, I'm going to give you the Free Beer Holiday Fakin' Sniffle Supercut. I haven't yet produced it, Borculo Josh. But I assume we're going to be in the neighborhood of 50, 60 sniffles. And I'm not even sure how I'll present it. Because if I present to you him saying 5 or 6 words and then the sniffle and then play the next clip and then the next clip, that's going to go on for like 5 minutes. So I might just do just the sniffs. Josh wants to know, where does he listen to the holiday fakin'? So if you go to freebeerandhotwings.com, you have to, click where it says podcast, and you can listen to it that way. But I think you have to like sign up for it. So you'll have to pay for it, which is fine because that money goes to the charity. I have never said the charity's bad. The charity's great. I think they're doing it wrong because they don't have enough sense to actually make it a perpetual charity. They probably don't even know what that word is. Most charities, when you pump money into them, they take a large portion of the money and invest it aggressively so that it becomes perpetual. It earns money. Those idiots, and you can find this online because every 501c3, this is all available to look at. They just take the pile of money that they earn and then spend it. So they're just putting money in and spending it. Chris says, LOL, holiday fake-in, great name. Thank you. Matt says Greg can't really cry. The nose keeps him too depleted of fluids. Oh, yeah, she is not sick of banging that ugly beast. Bob says, I feel you're missing some of them. I swear there was 20 in one segment alone. Okay, I'm listening to every single second, and when I hear the sniff, I write down the timestamp. Jeremy says, idea. Greggy sniffle montage to the tune of Now I Want to Sniff Some Glue by the Ramones. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do that. Tophus has an opinion. He says Greg has no conscience. He is not funny either, nor is he close to being likable. Tophus also has an opinion. He says Andy's a perv. I don't think he's a perv. Linda says the nose bangs him like her life depends on it. Well, if she does that, she doesn't have to work. Tofa says, I cannot wait to troll Facebook pages and affiliates. Oh, happy, happy, joy, joy. That's something you were born for, I think. I think that is fantastic. And if you go to like my free podcast platform where I post, hey, it's a free clip from Who Are These Free Beers? You can actually take that clip and post it on those pages. That's what I did. And now I'm going to get blocked. But if you're doing it, fucking hey, that's great. For those of you that are enjoying this catastrophe on Facebook, it's time for me to say goodbye to you. The rest of the show is available on Twitch, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live, or download the Twitch app and search Eric Zane Live, all one word. The show goes on for quite a bit more time than just this little bit right here. Well, I should say this is about the first hour of the show that you've watched, but the rest of it, the next hour is happening right after I do this. So there you go. As well, you can email me on the Shoreliners Striping inbox, eric@ericzaneshow.com. Send me an email, good or bad. My Patreon is there for you, patreon.com/Eric Zane. It is a separate platform where I post every day plenty of content. That's where Who Are These Free Beers happens every week. We have 38 episodes. They're about an hour long. So 38 hours of Who Are These Free Beers material for you to review, where we review our favorite morning show, the Free Beer and Hot Wing Show. Ben Glaze and myself do that. You can find Ben, his podcast weekly with Brett Hayes is called Balls Out with Ben Glaze and Brett Hayes. I should link that up in the show notes of this show every day. Link Balls Out. And by the way, I mentioned just before Christmas, I was so happy because I had my 231st Patreon subscriber. That was the first time in nearly 3 years that I had been that high. Well, I also just added another one, 232. We are now going back to, I think, July of 2021, maybe earlier than that it has been. So more than 3 years, damn near 3.5. So Patreon member by Patreon member. Now, not everybody stays, but the ones that do, I appreciate you. You can try out Patreon free for 7 days. That's right. When you go to patreon.com/Eric Zane, I want you to try this out for free, and this is how you do it. You sign up. You have to put in a credit card payment. You sign up for the 7 days free. You have to put in the credit card payment. Now, if you did nothing else and you forgot about it, it's going to charge you $5 or $10 every month. But I want you to cancel it right after. So on my notifications, it'll say, hey, Joe Blow signed up and Joe Blow canceled. That means I know you're taking advantage of the 7 days free. That way, at the end of the 7 days, if you think it sucks, then you don't get charged. And we go our separate ways. You tried. Thank you. But if you like it, just go back into your account and enable your card. And depending on what you sign up for, it'll charge you $5 or $10 a month. $5 a month is for the audio. $10 a month is for the audio, video, and live streams. I recommend $10 a month. It's so much more fun to see it and watch what I'm watching while we're doing the show. All right. Facebook and Twitch, brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid, and EV. Forge 3D is a fantastic startup business where, my gosh, they can 3D print anything for you. Anything. Let your brain wander on the creativity. Forge 3D can print it for you. They have a website, Forge, Forge, the number 3, and then DLLC.com. Forge3DLLC.com. Or you can find them on Facebook. Just search Forge 3D on Facebook. Call or text the CEO, Tim, 616-667-7937. You know you're onto something great. I asked, what all do you print? There's too much to list, Eric. If you have any questions, check them out on Facebook. Sensory toys, fidgets, games, anything professional, sports, or college, anything with a logo, it can be 3D printed. That's right. All sorts of different merchandise. Perhaps you work in the industry like in die making. And instead of a computer-generated model that you're doing your work off of, you actually have a tangible, miniature, 3D printed piece that you're looking at to scale. That can all be done. Not to mention marketing trinkets. Let's say I wanted to make the Eric Zane Show podcast keychains. Boom, it's done. And the price is so affordable. Dare I say, there is not one person who does this in the entire 3D printing industry who has lower prices for any products than Forge 3D. Let's say you've got something in your house with a busted part, and you're like, God damn, if I could only have this handle on this air fryer back. Boom! You've got a 3D printed part. The sky is the limit with Forge 3D. Search Forge 3D on Facebook or go to the website forge3dllc.com or just call CEO Tim 616-667-7937. Don't be shocked by his fucked up hair if you have to see him in person. Chris says, how about a Honolulu nutsack for all Lions fans? Ben Glaze says, I just upped to the video tier. You're the best. Ben Glaze says, Balls Out is slightly better than the Bomity podcast. I honestly want you all to find Balls Out podcast and listen to Ben Glaze and Brett Hayes. It's a nice accessory to what we do here. Tophus also has an opinion about our pal Freebeer. He says he definitely wants to fuck Kelly and Maitland. Well, who wouldn't? They're both beautiful. Well, one of them. One and a half of them. I mean, if I was single, I would definitely... Maitland's out of my league. But Kelly is not. I kind of find that black tooth attractive. I don't know about you. All right, I'm going to bring Pooh Bear in here in a minute. Ben has a question, or Chris has a question for Ben. Ben, is that one episode still going viral? It was the damnedest thing. Balls Out podcast. You look at the downloads, and it's very modest, as you would expect a podcast to be like mine. It's on par with the number of downloads that I get, and then all of a sudden there's one of it's like 90,000 people, 74,000 views. It'll be 90,000 by the end of the day. Why? What happened? So strange. Linda says you're out of Dumlin's league intelligence-wise. Yeah, she's much smarter than I am. Poor Dumlin. Ugh. I think she'll still do very well for herself because she's so pretty and so sweet and kind and congenial. She's a very good person. And everybody gets pissed at me and says, why are you so mean to her? It's like, look, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just telling you the truth. She's a horrible broadcaster, and she's super dumb. She admits that. Come on now. I don't think she admits she's a horrible broadcaster. She is. Chris says, don't forget to call Kyle. Oh, I have not. I have to bust out one more amazing sponsor before I do that. So when it comes to cannabis, there is a shop I want you to go to that's for some of you far away, but that's okay. Greenville, Michigan is a fantastic little hamlet. Go there. They got all sorts of fun little shops in the downtown area. Try not to stare any people in the eye. You might turn to a pillar of salt. And there's a nice cannabis shop right on the outskirts called the Green Medicine Shop. That's my sponsor. All right. Now, for years, they were med cannabis only. They just got their rec license. So you can get recreational cannabis. And if you're under 21, you can get medical cannabis. You can get a med card on their website, thegreenmedicineshop.com. So they have everything under the sun. Great shop. I've been there twice. Very nice people, very clean, professional. It's run by a pharmacist. Shawnee runs a joint, her and her husband, Matt. She's a pharmacist. She can answer any questions for you, especially if you're like the type of soul that doesn't get high and you have questions. Okay? She can help you with anything. TheGreenMedicineShop.com. TheGreenMedicineShop.com. Werner Roofing. WERNER Roofing.com. Get a brand new roof from Werner Roofing. They put a roof on our house, and they'll do the same for you. Man, when that crew shows up at 7:40 in the morning, and it was like a clown car. They open up this extended cab pickup, and about 20 Mexicans come flying out of that thing, and they're all like, hot, 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 arriba, arriba, hot, 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 and they just fucking tear up the joint. They do awesome. Before you know it, that roof is off, the piece of shit one. And then they take all sorts of giant pieces of wood and lean them against your house in front of the windows so that they don't break any windows. I'm like, what are you doing? Are you putting new wood up? No, senor. We don't want to break your windows. Oh, wow, I got you. And then bam, bam, bam. Next thing you know, they're done. They got the giant magnets out. They're picking up all the little nails and shit. And then they're gone like a thief in the night. Holy shit. WernerRoofing.com. WERNER Roofing.com. Go to their website, fill out the form. You get a phone call by the end of the day, and then tomorrow they'll be at your house giving you an estimate. They are awesome. All right, that is Act 1 of the podcast. Act 2 is available right after this one. Go check it out. What are you doing? Don't miss a second of it. Thank you so much.